Hey friend, welcome. You are here because you're curious about Mercury retrograde, right? Everybody has been telling you, oh, it's awful. Don't do that. Do this, blah, blah, blah. Actually, don't do anything. But I am going to tell you about how Mercury retrograde is the perfect time for you to profit from a redo. All right? So let's begin. I have slides for you today. So on the left is likely, and I'm going to put myself right here. On the left, you're likely thinking like, oh my God, Mercury retrograde is coming, or it's here, or it's coming, or it's here. Yes, friend, it's almost here. So depending on when you watch this, Mercury retrograde will be happening very shortly in the sign of Sagittarius and then moving back into Scorpio. So the warnings that you generally hear about this period of time from people that may not know the full story is that you shouldn't do anything. Don't launch, don't sign anything, don't touch your technology during a Mercury retrograde. But what if that advice for you is only half the story and what you should really be listening to is what I have to share, which is Mercury retrograde isn't just about the chaos. This is an opportunity from the cosmos for a cleanup. It's cleanup time because Mercury, for the most part, is a very fast moving planet. It moves very quickly through the zodiac. So when it is retrograde, it is now a time for pause. So it is your cue to slow down, to reevaluate, and to realign what's already in motion. And so, what is happening? So, Mercury retrograde is not a rare moment in time. In fact, it is something that happens all of the time. It's not random and it's not destructive, although I guess that sometimes for some it can be. For example, technology flying out. I've experienced it. I have a story of a Mercury retrograde that happened right before all of the crazies in 2020, and it took forever for me to get my passport renewed. Very, very typical of Mercury, of communications going haywire. So Mercury retrograde is simply a natural phase in Mercury's orbit, where the planet appears to us from here on Earth that it's moving backwards, but in fact, it's just slowing down. Okay, our view is that it's backwards, but for us, and what's really happening is that things have slowed down. So this happens about 3 or 4 times a year for about 3 weeks at a time. And yes, there are periods of time before and after that people consider the shadow period, which is the part of the zodiac that Mercury is going to go back through versus back through, meaning it's already covered it. Okay, it's gone through parts of Scorpio at this moment, for example, and then it's going to enter Sagittarius, and then it's going to slow down and then go back into Scorpio. That's that going backwards part. But symbolically, this is just a time that is asking us to pause and realign. So the key things for you to remember here is retrograde is review, revise, reconnect, and reframe whatever it is that you're doing. So this isn't the ideal time of these areas in your daily business flow because Mercury has everything to do with your communication, your thinking and decision making, technology and systems, as well as any short-term daily plans and operations. And so your the acts of how you express your ideas and connect with others will all be impacted during a Mercury retrograde because Mercury is influencing and is touching these parts of your world. So this is an opportunity for us to really slow down and really see what we can readjust in our business, right? Wouldn't you want to have a period of time, a 3, 4 week time frame where you can just hit the pause button and say, I'm not ready to go forward. I want to go back and look at what I've already done and see how I can refine it. So, friend, utilize that time for that. And so treat Mercury retrograde as an editor and not a villain in your life. During this time, Mercury is asking you to step back and look at what needs clarity, not control. Things are going to be slower. Your thinking might be slower. Your response times. Maybe your You're receiving messages that don't make sense, or you're sending messages that don't make sense. It's a very typical Mercury retrograde period. So this is your cosmic proofreading period time. And how does this lead to profit? Well, friend, if your stuff is not aligned, then this is the time to align it so that you can bring in that profit, so that you can bring in that revenue. Think about, what stories are you telling that no longer fit your message? What keeps breaking because it's due for an upgrade? What parts of your process need a fresh rewrite? This is Mercury retrograde coming in and giving you that opportunity to stop resisting, slow down, and start using it to refine and transform those delays into clarity. Perfect time for that. And I personally love Mercury retrograde periods of time because I can then slow down, because I go, 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 go. I'm creating, doing, go, 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 go. But Mercury retrograde is when I catch up with my friends. It's when I go back and I review things so that I can improve them. And so the birth chart, your birth chart, reveals where this review period happens. So the primary focus is the house through which Mercury is moving through at that time during the retrograde. That area shows where you're being invited to review, revise, or refine. So for example, 10th house. The 10th house is about the public legacy, the public self. And so if there's a Mercury retrograde in this area of your chart, so think about rethinking your public image or career direction, if that's due for you. If it's hitting your your second house, so this is about your offers, this is your talents, your skills, rework your pricing, your money mindset. If it's in the 7th house that it's going through, then it's time to revisit client boundaries or collaborations. Maybe the ones that weren't really helping you in the past are now due for a review. So when all of this happens, you can also look at Mercury's influence on Gemini and Virgo in your chart, because Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury. So this is an opportunity to see if there is any spillover, as that may show a secondary ripple effect. Not always, but perhaps. Depends on your chart. So I mentioned how I've used Mercury retrograde, and I wanted to tell you a little bit more. So most recently, Mercury went through my 6th house, and that's the area of the systems, routines, and daily work. All right, you have a 6th house as well. And so when that happened, I was already prepared. I took that opportunity to refine things and to intentionally work through things in my system, such as my sale pages, my messaging, my onboarding emails. My coach would love this. Revising my standard operating procedures, my SOPs, making sure that all of my dashboards were cleaned up. I lean hard into Mercury retrograde. My Venus is ruled by Mercury, so I pay attention to Mercury retrogrades. If your Venus is in Gemini or Virgo, look to see what happens during these periods of time. Remember, I mentioned Gemini and Virgo before. For me, it's very important because I have my money planet, one of them, right? There's many money planets, but Venus is certainly one where we magnetize and attract. I pay attention to that for my business. And so the result of all of that was when Mercury went direct, my messaging felt clearer to me. My audience response was clearer, more powerful, more stronger. And my systems worked with me instead of against me. Instead of having all this clutter that I had created, I was able to slow down and then refine my things, my messages, my systems. So then I could then look at the next 3 months to see what that improved. And I saw that immediate because I started to change. I changed so many things: the frequency of my messages, what I was sending, what I was trying to say. So, friends, use this time, a purposeful time, an intentional time, to revise, redo, clarify, and use your chart to see where it lands. For me, it was my sixth house, which is all about systems and routines and daily work. But perhaps for you, it's a different place. And so, what we have here is an opportunity, a strategic review roadmap for business every 3-4 times a year. So this is the perfect time to refine what's already in motion. Reconnect with past clients or collaborators. Revisit your copy, your brand voice, your client journey. If you're a blogger, do an audit. If you have a YouTube channel, go through your best performing videos and improve them for SEO. Go through your freebies. Are they performing? Reorganize your systems, your automations, your content library. Do they need to be spruced up? If you are like me and you have an altar, clean out your money altar, your business altar. Do you have a space for that? Do you have a board with your visions that you need to revise? And then relaunch something that's already worked for you. Give it a new spin. Because now you have clarity and the opportunity to revise things and then push it out. So ditch the mindset of, is Mercury retrograde going to kill me? And instead, I want you to move towards an informed refinement mode. One that will give you the profit gains when you utilize it with that in mind, right? I updated my systems, my emails, my sales funnel pages with profit in mind. What triggers do I need to change to enable someone to feel at home to purchase, to feel connected, to be seen, to purchase? Whatever those may be for your business, this is an opportunity to go back and clarify what your voice is. And so this is Mercury retrograde working for you. Think of Mercury retrograde as your business consultant, editing, optimizing, and clarifying your next steps. During retrograde periods, I want you to use this time to pause, review, and refine. Rebrand, reconnect, and refine your messages. Maybe you have an Instagram place that you haven't really been connecting with, and now you want to rebrand it. Or perhaps you have a Facebook group that you've really let floundered and you want to revise it and rejuvenate it. Do you notice the words that I'm using? Rejuvenate, rebrand, reinvigorate, rejoin, reconnect. So Mercury is definitely a type of vibe, but all the planets have that vibe. It's just a matter of how you apply that energy. So then when Mercury goes direct, you'll feel the shift as clarity returns. We generally will see messages pick up. Mercury retrograde this year in Sagittarius and Scorpio is going to land during the time frame of leading up into Black Friday. I suspect things may be a little wonky, maybe a little quiet, right? Because we're not just the only ones taking a break. So is the consumer. So is the buyer. They're rethinking through things as well. So when messages our launch during this time, they're going to be much more in alignment. Momentum is going to be returning. System will start to click. Mercury going direct. And that's your cue to go. Now you're ready to move forward with confidence. And you're ready to relaunch whatever that you've done, right? With confidence within you. You know exactly what you've done. And you're happy about it because you're like, I know exactly my voice that I want to have at this time. I know what I want to offer or where I want to offer it before I did all this work. Because once Mercury moves forward, friends, the pace quickens. Remember what I started, right? Mercury slows down. That's why it appears to go backwards. It's an inward time. And so when it goes forward, direct, things pick up and then they go. And depending on the sign, it may go faster in terms of the energy being felt. So for example, air and fire signs, they're not slow in nature. They're fast. So Sagittarius season is going to seem very awkward with Mercury retrograde because that's a fire sign. And I'm curious to see what words will be shared after it goes direct and fully forward in movement. So don't treat this season as just like a chaotic moment. Utilize it as a strategic move in your business. Don't use it as a stop sign. Harness the strategy session from the cosmos to make a difference in your business. This is an opportune time for you to slow down, rethink. Is this me? Do I want to do this? Where is it working? Where is it not working? 3-4 times a year. And you can plan this out ahead of time. That's even better, right? Whoa, right? So if you're a planner, do add the retrogrades in the calendar for yourself. So turn this time reflection into revenue. When you're working with Mercury's rhythm, whether it's rebranding, reconnecting, refining, your turn, this is your turn to reflect and to turn this reflection into a revenue generating task. Yes, friends, a pause can lead to profit, right? If we can refine what we're doing out there and really hit the mark, that hits profit. All right, so ready to align your business with astrology? Yeah? Cool. So I'm offering in the comments, you're going to see links, but also here on the screen, there's a free offer mapping guide. It's called the Profit Pathway Maker. This is a Google Sheet and a free GPT to help you use your astrology to come up with the next profitable offer. And then if you would like, get on the wait list for the Cosmic Clarity Lab, where I teach you, business owner, solopreneur, coach, healer, artist, creator, blogger, to turn your astrology into a business hack. How to use astrology for growing your business. And so this is a monthly lab, and I'm so excited for you to join, whether that's curiosity, grab the free offer that I have here, the freebie, or just join the waitlist. There's no commitment for you to join at this time. And that is it, my friend. I will see you at the next video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Give me a message. I would love to hear what happened with the last Mercury retrograde for you. All right? What happened to your world? Did you use it effectively, or did you ignore it as an opportunity to refine your business? All right, friend, I will see you, friend, at the next time, and take care. Be well. Bye.